contact me. Give me a shout out, email me, and I'll sell you a bin file. You can put it in your Harmony cart, your Uno cart. You can put it wherever to play Geek Fighter. It's a one-of-a-kind Street Fighter style game for the Atari 2600. There is nothing else like it. You're never going to see graphics like this. You're not going to have gameplay like this on a 2600. Gotcha. I'm playing with a keyboard. Forgive me. I recommend playing this game with a Sega pad though. It plays better with a thumb pad than an Atari joystick. It is a one-button game though. Got me. Whoa! They're being merciless to me. But yeah, I may make a sequel to this game one of these days too. And just try to make it that much better. So, give Geek Fighter a chance. Send me an email if you want the game. I'm a scholar. People like me. Alright, major progress. Big changes. So, let's just start with it. I have changed a major part of the game. And this was something I talked about in previous episodes. I have added, first off, I did a crash course, learned how to use and plug in the mini-text kernel. Okay, so big difference. One of the many big differences in systems that were competing with the 2600 after, it's a Pong system with a scorekeeper. Okay, that's all the thing is. No font. So in television, ColecoVision, Nintendo, Master System, everything after that point was like, hey, we're going to put a font on here. We're going to put a ROM on here with the alphabet and numbers, and you can just grab them and use them wherever you want. So everyone had it so easy. Even the Atari computers had it, of course, so no font. Now, other than numbers, what the mini-text kernel does is allows you to have words on the screen up to 12 characters, spaces, punctuation, and depending on how you set it up, anywhere between a couple of dozen words that can be used over and over again to upwards of a couple of hundred words that can be used over and over again. Now, anyone who knows how role-playing games are with their repetitious statements like, you know, hit, shield, hit HP, things like that, you know, you can come up with a list of a couple of hundred words and make, you know, novellas worth of interaction between characters. So this changes everything. It changes a couple of things kind of for the worse, but I think the trade is worth it. So I had to get rid of some graphics. I was almost completely out of graphics, as I said before. My 8th bank ROM space was soaked up. Okay, so I had to free up over 200 bytes because it takes one page, and that's roughly 256 bytes. And so I had to chop off some stuff, and later on I might figure out a way to put that stuff back in there somehow or not. They were necessary sacrifices. This is a truncation where I could go this way or I could revert, and you know, if watchers want to, you know, give me their opinions or ideas or anything about whether I should keep going with this angle or stick with the older way, I'm all ears, you know. So it's great. Now, big changes though. So what the original way was like pro wrestling for the NES, only with maybe some more moves and with my graphics, which look a little different and considerably more wrestlers. But everything is left in the blank. You're like, who's this wrestler? I mean, I could give you an instruction manual or a page or something and give you names for the wrestlers. This lets me put the name of every wrestler on the screen. This might let me have some words for the wrestlers before they go into a match. This will let me have announcers say every move as the match is happening. This puts it on a tier somewhere above Pro Wrestling, Master System Pro Wrestling, Nintendo, and around, floating around, but still beneath that Tecmo Wrestling where the announcers were saying everything as it was going on. Now, Tecmo had zoomed in graphics on a second screen like a televised event. Like there was a camera that was zoomed in on the action, and it had an image of the ring that was the animation and the interaction part. So that was cinematic. It was really, really good. This is not that, of course. But being able to say every single move while it's happening, like commentators are following the action, is next level, in my opinion. What did it cost me? Well, I had an 88-row playfield. That was one of the biggest ROM space sponges, because Multisprite uses ROM space for your backgrounds. It's not just data. So I cut that in half. So that beautiful thin ropes, clean lettering and everything has been sacrificed. And some other details have also been sacrificed. I got rid of the belts for now. I got rid of one frame of animation for the announcers. That's going to be replaced with the background ball. So that ball is going to appear as mouth movements on the announcers. And it might even be better. For instance, I can possibly pace the changing of that ball back and forth to have specific timing of their comments. So it's not at all tied to random numbers. It would be a word pops up and then the comments match the pacing of the words as they're saying them. So that's not out of reach now either. Also, I could probably try to find a way to squeeze that graphic back in there. I do have 14 bytes left, and so if I could just get one graphic in there that I would like to try to get, it would be to get the champion belts back in. I think that would be really, really good. But because of how I've done the graphics, the ball is available now for use, meaning I could possibly use it as a chair, maybe even as a tabletop. It depends. It all depends on how things work out with it, because you can make it, you know, all kinds of sizes and stuff. So I'm going to show where we're at now, just to get some graphics up on the screen, so this isn't just me talking with a big mess right here. Then I'll go through the mini-kernel, and maybe people can learn in case they want to do something like this with their own game, or they're working on it. Okay, so we can see, I'm going to zoom in. World video. Of course, the next word would be wrestling in the sequence. Before it said WVW. One complaint I have right away is that W's are essentially just tilted over fat H's. It's the one letter, like the world is trolling me, that I'm using a bunch but doesn't look as good as the other letters. No big whoop. Our brain still says that's a W. So for the most part, it's not going to harm anything. I've got my wrestler. I fixed the camera graphic. Now everything has been changed. If you'll notice, there's only one row of interactive crowd at the bottom of the screen. If you're really attentive to details, you'll see that the WVW banner is now a sign that's up on little legs. The camera is a little bit different. And the legs for the ring and for the camera station are longer. I changed the resolution to one truncation lower for one phase of this screen. Okay, and I feel that was a worthwhile sacrifice. The biggest change, though, is apparent in the ring. And so we'll go ahead and move to that. This one you could barely even tell anything's even different. Now, there's no verses in the middle. I went ahead and got rid of that, but I can actually say the word verses at the bottom of the screen. So later on, it will say verses or verses mode when you go into that. So I don't need to have a sprite graphics that says it. I can just actually type out the word. Now, I've went ahead and went for the extended text mini-kernel mode. So I'm going for the hundreds of words, not the dozens of words. And I spent all last night learning the mini-kernel, and so I didn't sleep. I slept today when my kids were at school, and then I spent the day before going to sleep, the morning, coming up with names for every wrestler. And I went through and came up with, you know, unique names where if you know wrestling history or you know a little bit about the characters that are popular in wrestling, then you might be able to identify who the wrestler is based on. I didn't use any actual names. For instance, I'll go ahead and just grab a couple characters here. We've got this guy and this guy. No, I'll pick a different one. This guy right here. Okay, so the guy on the left, in case you don't know your left from right, this guy here, I wanted to look like a cross between the Dingo Warrior and the Ultimate Warrior. He has red face paint. He's got a little tuft of hair on the back, but not much, and he's ripped. So then the guy on the right, I wanted to look like Hulk Hogan. So I named the guy on the left Sky Warrior. Okay. He was always talking about the moon and the stars and the sun and in the stars and constellations and stuff like that. He had this like almost like mysterious persona. He was from parts unknown, and he was being controlled by the greater luminaries, you know. Okay. Then Hulk Hogan, he would always say the 24-inch pythons. He said that constantly. And he always, I am a real American, you know, a real American was his intro theme. So he was talking about say your prayers, eat your vitamins, he's a real American, and the 24-inch pythons. So I have named him U.S. Python. Okay, so the Hulk Hogan character is US Python, the Ultimate Warrior is Sky Warrior. And every name of every wrestler is some amalgamation representation of a real wrestler from popularity. And there's even one wrestler that has two different representations. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this up. Now I can already tell I want to change the little yellow blocks in the foreground. I'll probably remove one of the gray bars so that the heads are a different shade of yellow. Got the camera popping up on both sides. On the right here will be the announcers once the match has started. Okay. Now we're in the ring. And as you can see, the referee is now Mario sized. And I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to make him approximately 1 or 2 pixels taller. I'm going to add leg length so that he doesn't look so squat. This was to protect the spacing between the wrestlers, the signs, and the ref so that nothing disappears because they're taking up the same horizontal space. The crowd is different now. They're larger, simpler components. The signs are still working great, but I did have to shrink one sign. One of the signs, the pin me sign, was dangling down just a little too low because I changed this to an 80-row screen instead of an 88-row screen. So 8 lines are now omitted, and that's to make it so this game is not freaking out. So we've still got the interactive crowd noise, but it's going to change with moves, of course. Both characters are moving. Now, I've been working on interactions. There is still a very slim chance, and I actually worked this out on a second computer that I was working on. I just need to go ahead and throw one extra line of code in where the wrestlers will overlap and it locks the characters up. So that's still a slim possibility. So they can still bounce off the ropes, but now the bouncing off the ropes is fixed to where it doesn't ever mess up. See? So they'll always correctly bounce off the ropes. He can go here, bounce off the ropes, run into him, or let's see, he can bounce off and hit the guy. They can both back up and then bounce off at the same time. We still have the body slam. As you can see, it's a little longer throw. He has his body slam. But now we've introduced the suplex. And you can see the graphic needs adjusted slightly. Okay. Now I need to change it so certain graphics mirror at certain times, so that part hasn't been implemented. So yeah, the ropes are obviously thicker now, okay? But if you've noticed, I've made the ring more three-dimensional. So as the view is further back in the background, the ropes are closer together to imply distance, okay? The ropes in the foreground are large. We have a leftover ball at the very bottom in the middle, right here, from where there were letters there. That ball is going to be moved somewhere else to do something else. Okay, it's not going to be there. I might use it to make it appear that mouths are moving in the backgrounds, possibly. Just anything to add more detail. I don't want stuff to be left unused. Now we have color on the tops of the ring posts. I went ahead and did that. Anything I could add to make it look better because it's a lower resolution, I did. And so again, the ref's going to be slightly taller. Now I want this game to have a really strong 80s kind of wrestling look and feel. That's what I'm going for. I really like the suplex. I think it looks great. Now of course I need sound effects for all this. And so we've still got all the signs. We've got the beginnings of some of the more complex moves. We're going to be having names for every single wrestler, possibly announcers commenting on every move as it happens in the match. Winning and losing statements and things. I plan on trying to have, 100 or more words, as many as I can have. I'm going to have as many words on there, and this kernel doesn't take up too much space. It's actually kind of it's a really neat thing. Now that I'm using it and I'm seeing how it works, I feel like I have to have it in everything now. So my Space Navy game has to have endless text. My Resident Evil RE Atari game has to have endless text. My remake of Titan Axe is going to have endless text. All these games are just going to have, as much text as humanly possible in every single game. And, it pushes the Atari up beyond what it ever did before. You never had games with a good amount of text going on. And I haven't seen this really used in a big way yet. I mean, I think a couple people have. Now, today on this episode, we're going to have some games from a fellow coder who has contributed to modern technology. He actually, call sign Furroy, helped to make a Commodore 64 device back in the day, probably in the 80s I would say, and I think it was like a precursor to internet, bulletin board services and stuff, phone style modem device, if I'm not mistaken. Now I had an uncle. He was actually the uncle of my half-brother named Menzo Fawcett. Really cool guy. He was a Trekkie big time. He loved Star Trek, and he let me play Star Trek on his Commodore 64. So that was a really big deal for me. We visited him in Tennessee one year, and his grandpa, who he was named after, was a chef. He was a Dutch chef. And I remember he was making pea soup, and it took days. I think it took like a week or something to cook this soup, and it was really good. We really liked it and stuff. But he used one of those. He had a Commodore 64, and I was just blown away because he could send messages to a friend that also had the same stuff far away. It was email before email even existed, and it was in the 80s. So he was sitting there laughing, like a hysterical laugh. I don't remember, his laugh was something like, I remember hearing his laugh, is that like a, I don't know, seal mating with a goose or something? It sounded, he had a very unique laugh. He had a unique voice too. He had a really high voice like that. Such a cool guy, though. He came and visited me and my brother one year, and we were such Trekkies. We would sit in the lower bunk, and we get a speak and spell, and anything, like a keyboard, a little tiny, a toy keyboard, anything that looked like buttons you could press. And we would drape a blanket down the side of the bunk bed, and we'd get in it, and it was our bridge, like a starship bridge. And he actually sat in there with us one day, and we all were pretending to be in a starship, just to show, how crazy we were about Star Trek and stuff. It was really great. That was a fun experience. It happened once, but, you never forget stuff like that, right? Okay, so let's talk about how you can add text to your Atari games if you want to, okay? And this is cool, all right? I'll just say straight up, this is super cool. You need your variable set aside, which we have here for dimensional text index. I've given it the variable Z. We have a constant screen height of 80. that takes some of the cycle count down, so your text kernel doesn't just rend your game. And okay, we've got a constant text background color. You can make that whatever you want. Constant no score text. That's my choice. I've said no score. There is no visible score, and that also cuts down on the cycle count big time, because it's not constantly checking on that, and it gets rid of those earlier dimensionals for variables that would control each section of the score. So that's 3 different constantly changing, updating variables that are gone, and the score having to update on the screen. That's gone, and it's not 88 lines, it's 80 lines. Then we have constant text bank, and I've given it the bank of 4. This is so I can have the extended. So it says constant extended text. That means I'm using the hundreds of words, not the dozens of words. Now, the text mini-kernel comes with instructions in a PDF format, and easy to open, easy to read, very simple, straightforward. It's just a few pages. No reason why you can't do it. Now down at the bottom on my 3rd line, we can see I've changed the text color right around here. That's my text color thing. That says 1/6. That is golden, kind of yellowish color. You can make it whatever you want. You can contrast it with your text background color, which is like right here, and that will be, you know, so if you make both those 0, then you have a black bar with nothing on it. Okay, if you make it bright yellow and your letters dark yellow, then you have a big yellow mess, right? So you want to make a nice contrast. What I'm doing is making the text background color an extension of the background color itself, which is A4. It is a darker middle point blue color, and then it's golden yellowish text over it. I can change the text color to anything I want, and so I can have a unique text color for every wrestler's name. Stuff like that. So now, to get this to work, you have to make sure to put these in there. You just read the instructions, you'll be good. Now I have text index world video, and we'll see what that means later. Now constants go along with this that I'm putting in the 4th bank that are the actual words themselves. And so you're going to have a lot of those if you have a lot of words. Okay? So be ready for that. I was actually surprised at how little room this kernel takes up when it's injected into your code. It doesn't really take up much space, and it ends up, I think it looks great. Very easy to use, very easy to implement. Having some coffee. Also been having energy drinks occasionally, which have made it so that I guess I don't need sleep. You know, who needs it? All right. So we're going to scroll way down. In the 8th bank, you have to plug in inline text 12A. Also, if you're not using an extra bank or the extension, inline text 12B. These are calls out to the assembly code that is working in here to make the text string appear. Okay? Text 12A, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the actual code that is putting the text up there. Text 12B is the buffer for the words themselves, and it directly correlates with the words or the bank. You could have all this in the 8th bank, but of course you want as much graphics as you can have, so you want it to be in its own bank. So that's what I've done. Here is the bank. I've decided to put it in as it said, bank 4. In bank 4 I've established 4 words so far, a number that corresponds with the line that the word is on. If you're using the dozens of words instead of hundreds of words, then those numbers will actually be each grouping of 12 spaces. So the first one will be constant for, in my case, WVW 0, but then constant world video will be 12 instead of 0 or 1. But because I'm using the extended text with hundreds of words, they're each given a numerical row. Okay, and it takes an extra line to do that. So we've got the very top row, as you can see. SP is space, so we have space, 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 then W, V, W. It takes 2 underlines and a letter. All the letters are capital, there's no lowercase. Space, 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 line 0. Next one is world video. After that, wrestling. Then I've got the first name of the first wrestler. That's just to get in that little mode of plugging in the names. Now the first wrestler, he's got blue hair, the hair hangs down in front of his face, so I thought it reminded me of Jeff Hardy, because he often had multicolored hair, and his hair would iconically hang down in front of his face. And he was a flyer, dangerous, chaotic wrestler who did all kinds of jumping off of cages and into tables and stuff. He was a very, like, self-sacrificial kind of popular wrestler. So I've called him Jeff, but instead of Jeff, it's Geoff, and instead of Hardy, it's Hartley. So Jeff Hartley, Jeff Hardy, kind of get an idea of how I'm doing this. Now, every name is at least 12 or less characters, right? Or you can use 2 different rows and sequence them. So suppose I want to say, I don't know, something crazy like Barbarian Explosion Man. Then I can have one line be Barbarian and the second line be Explosion, or stuff like that. So you could use however many lines and sequence them, or like I'm doing, you can just keep it simple and have 12 or less lines per name. Now with 200 words, you've got a dictionary worth of words. So this is how you can do a role-playing game. This is how you can do stories in your games. This is how you can have people talk to each other. Yes, it's just in, short word increments, but you can put "I am not" on one line, right? "I'm going up," stuff like that, or maybe I'm going down, right? So I am space GOING space UP. That's fine, okay? So you can fit small groupings of statements as long as 12 spaces or less. You can also have however many creative things you want to do. There is punctuation in this. Exclamation points, commas, things like that, periods, whatever. You can fit all that stuff in there. So this is effectively an Atari font, is what it ends up being. And you have a little bar at the bottom of the screen to plug in whatever words you want. And I love it. I love the idea of every one of my wrestlers having names and being able to have maybe statements. I'm thinking, what about having a wrestler pop out and say, I'm going to tear your head off and, crap in your neck. Stuff like that. Have them call each other gerbil faces, or say, I got to put, snack on danger, dine on death. Oh, God, that's perfect. We snack on danger, dine on death. There you go. Every 21st row is a space, except the second and fourth instance of 2 groups of 21s. That doesn't make much sense. If you look in the help file, the instruction file, it does explain what it's trying to say, and you can apply that. So and this is essentially copy and paste. Then at the bottom, inline text 12B. As I said, I believe that's what's grabbing lines and dumping them on the screen. Okay? So, we have text, slightly lower resolution, backgrounds, had to sacrifice a couple of fluty balloony graphics, maybe not so important graphics, and I'm going to try to squeeze that champion belt back in there, though. I really want championship belts for the characters. Other than that, though, all the graphics are in, and now we have a massive amount of text to be able to be displayed on the screen while the wrestling's going on. I really think we're pushing the limits now. We're making this Atari game, you know, really push the limits of what's ever been done on an Atari 2600 before. And I really like how it looks. I love it. So let's see, some other changes. I have spaced out things into separate banks, like I said I was going to have to before, so that the moves are taking up 2 banks for each grouping of moves. And there's a good chance with the story mode, everything will probably fit in 1 bank. It might be a tight squeeze, but because you're not grabbing at joystick inputs, any joystick inputs will be omitted in favor of random number, which really chops back on the code big time. So I'm hoping to have enough space. Now, with this compiled, we can look at the van damage, and we've got 746 bytes left in 1, but 1 is basically done. I can do a little more stuff with it for fun, but yeah, 1 is done. Let's have a poem. We've got 1,633 in bank 2, enough to do some more stuff. 1,501 in bank 3, 2,005 in bank 4, 346 in bank 5, and that is one that's jam-packed with moves and stuff like that. Then we have 1,116 in 6, 1,689 in 7. So we have a lot of room left in a couple of those banks to try to plug in as many moves as humanly possible in this game. And of course, what I'd like to do is have unique moves per wrestler. So wrestlers that are not going to be doing technical stuff like a Boston Crab or a figure 4 leg lock or anything, but maybe they are doing a spinning body press, okay, because they're really aggressive. We might have a wrestler that doesn't do pile drivers, but instead they'll do spinning kicks, like jump spin kicks, or something like a luchador, something like that. I want to have a very unique experience based on the wrestler that you pick. I'm also thinking of speed tweaking here, like I don't mean drinking 10 coffees. I mean one wrestler is considerably faster, one is considerably slower, one is slightly weaker, one is much stronger, so that it like real wrestling, it's a hard curb where you do have wrestlers that are categorically better and will be more likely to succeed than others. And so then, hey, you can go, I've been playing this for a few months now, and this wrestler is weak and slower, and I just can't seem to win. And then you can challenge yourself by trying to beat the game with that wrestler. So what we're ending up with here is a 12-match wrestling game if you're taking on every opposing character in story mode. Of course, we can have, like with the game Punch-Out, you work to get the title, you get the title, then you face those same characters again, but maybe they're tougher, and so that can then be a big multiplier, where we're ending up with, you know, dozens of matches, okay, in the game. And that's really where I'd like to go with it. I want someone to be able to play this and have an evening out of it, you know, have a lot of fun with it. Also, of course, the aspect of competition versus mode, where people can say, okay, let's play that game against each other, and then they can try out all of the different wrestlers, try to learn all the different moves, you know, try to get lots of different little things to happen in the game. This makes coding more complex in that adding little bits of story and rhetoric, wording, attitude, conversational kind of stuff, which I'm inherently opposed to. When I watch wrestling, I skip the talking usually. I zip through and go, oh, there's where the actual match starts, and I'm watching that. Sometimes I'll watch a story segment. Okay, like on NWA, I like the game store story segments. Those are great because it's in an actual video game store. I think that's super cool. But if it's just someone with a microphone in a ring, I'll probably skip to the meat. I'll skip to the hearty wrestling. So Sheamus, right? He's awesome. He's essentially, he's this color. He's a sheet of paper white. And I have a character here, and I thought, what if he could be a representation of Sheamus, right? He's an Irishman who, is literally sheet of paper white. Okay, so let's work through here. Okay, and I'll grab this guy here, and then I'll go ahead and we'll just for contrast. I think that's him right there. Okay, and so I can't call him Sheamus, right? And he is Irish, so I named him Amos Irish. Okay, there we go. So some of the names are kind of a history lesson. So if you hear the name and then you look at the character and you go, who is that supposed to be? Then you can do some homework and maybe figure it out, right? And I'm into NWA, so if all you ever do is watch WCW or whatever, WWE or something, or NXT, you're probably not even going to know some of these references, right? Like Tom Latimer, who I guess just recently lost the NWA World Championship. I didn't even know, which is cool, whatever. But he looks like Rick Grimes. Okay, he looks like the character Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, only like if Rick Grimes held his revolver up in the air, got struck by lightning, and turned into He-Man. That's what Tom Latimer looks like, is Rick Grimes He-Man. Okay? He actually looks like him, and he's kind of British. He's U.S. British kind of character, so I've got a character named Tom Grimes. Okay? But it's spelled T-H-O-M, like Tom Latimer. So you'd have to catch that, inference. Otherwise, he's just some guy named Tom Grimes. Brian Adams. Okay? So I've got a guy named Adam Bryans. There we go. Sting, I can't call him Sting, but there was a phase where the Sting looked like the Crow, so I'm calling him Fang Crow. All right. Kurt Hennig was Mr. Perfect, so I've got a guy, I'm calling him Kurt Perfect. Now these names are tentative. I might get in here and say I want to change this or that or the other. These are cheesy, but wrestling names can be kind of cheesy, right? So yeah, like I love Carson Drake, right? And a drake, I think, is a duck. And so I spelled it K-A-R-S-I-N, Carson, and Dukes, D-U-X, instead of Drake. And what that is a complex callback to Frank Dukes in Bloodsport, where his name was mispronounced as Ducks. He said, "You're Frank Dux." He goes, no, it's pronounced Dukes. And he goes, oh, like put up your Dukes, right? Okay. So we've got Carson Dukes. And so that's a very hard reference. You've got to really know. But the guy's got a side part. Okay, so if I move to that character, I know exactly which one he is. Just by, there, that's him. Because he's got a side part in his hair. And that kind of looks a little bit like him. Alright, so as I go through, That would be, let's see here, Zap Knight is his name. This guy is the Sky Warrior. Now, Ron Farouk, and it's spelled with a Q, that's from Ron Simmons, who was also known as Farouk. Farouk. Okay, he was really, really popular. I spelled it F-R-O-Q. That Q's left in there as a signal. This guy is Ron Simmons. Okay, now they don't all look exactly like their characters. This is an Atari game, okay? Have an imagination. This guy is Chef Stone, and it's S-H-E-F-F, like Sheffield. Now, he's The Rock. And what The Rock always said was, whatever, smell what The Rock is cooking. Right? Or can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Or I think I smell what The Rock is, whatever his quote was. Cooking. A chef is cooking, and so can you smell what the chef is cooking? And then I can't call him Rock, so I call him Stone. So Chef Stone is The Rock, right? Now, if I have him say, can you taste what the chef is cooking? You're immediately going to know, okay, Chef Stone is The Rock. Do you get how that's working? So then we've got, let's see, this guy. He's going to be Ketch Worm. A ketch is another word for a boat or a steamboat, and a worm is another word, and it's W-Y-R-M, for a legless, wingless, or a legless, armless dragon. Can have wings. So a worm is that type of Chinese dragon that you see that has little tiny stunted legs, and it's mostly like a serpent kind of dragon, the Oriental style dragon. And a ketch is a boat, or another synonym for a steamboat. So ketch worm is like steamboat dragon. Okay. This guy's Kurt Perfect. He's got the big yellow hair. Okay. This guy is Fang Crow. He's like the emo Sting version, kind of. And he's got the chin. Like if you look at this guy, his face is different. This guy's got the longer, kind of pretty boy chin, squarish face, like Sting. Okay. We got Adam Bryans and Tom Grimes. That's my Tom Grimes. He's got a little hair pop back. He's, you know, looks a little bit like, if you notice his build is a little bulkier. His shoulders are a little bigger. So you look at that guy's shoulders, now look at that guy's shoulders. So he's a little more, slightly more muscular. Okay, this guy's the Jeff Hartley. This guy I'm calling, tentatively, Raymond Romes. Okay, so I don't know who that would reference. He's got some long hair. He's got a pretty big, you know, talky mouth looking thing going on. And he's got the extra muscles in the shoulder areas. I don't know, maybe he needs to be a different complexion. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay. On the other side, let's see some of these guys. We'll start with the first one here. There we go. I love Matt Cardona. He's just one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So, and he's not really a heel, but he's definitely a brat, okay? So I'm calling him Cap Mardona. So not Matt Cardona, Cap Mardona, okay? Oops, I'm moving the wrong character. Here we go. This one looks kind of like Rick Rude. He's got the shorter mustache that curves down. And what Rick Rude would do is kiss women at the beginning of a match. So this guy's name is Rude Kiss. Okay. This guy is based on Atomic Bomb. Okay. And so I've called him Bob Atomic. Okay. Here we have Dark Sid. And I think he looks like Sid Vicious if Sid Vicious was the Incredible Hulk. We got Amos Irish, who's a sheet of paper. Here we have Cyrus Kid, US Python, This guy's called MT Overgiver. How about that? Not Undertaker, Overgiver. We got King Bruiser. I'll let you figure out who that's based on. Flair Rick. I might change that, but I think it sounds cool, and it's obviously a callback to Ric Flair. Ray Hysteria. And then Vic Psycho. And that would be the bad guy version of Sid Vicious. Okay, because he was Psycho Sid, he was Sid Vicious, and he was also Sid Justice, I think, for a while there. So you had good guy and bad guy phases. I thought he was really great. I think he's passed on. And that brings me to another point here. Not all, of course, but many of these wrestlers are dead or retired. And I'm not going to go through that, who's dead or who's not. This isn't a eulogy, but this is a, it's a callback to it, a homage or homage, however you want to pronounce it, to all those great characters. Now, next in the episode, we're going to do some Furroy efforts that he is sending me, and I'm checking out, and he's chipping away at them, and he knows assembly. He plugs in his own assembly. He makes his own little, kernel style stuff for his as he's making his games. He's got text. He's got cool looking graphics and stuff, and we're going to have my resident Atari aficionado demo these games and give an impression of them, Nick. Okay, so we're trying out some of Furroy's games on real hardware with a real system. So I don't even know if he has real hardware. He could be doing all this in emulation. We have three games. One's Tangleweed, one is Crunk, which is the role-playing game, and Kaiju, which is, if you know what Kaiju is, it's actually the Japanese name for Godzilla. So we're going to start with Tangleweed Joe.
Oh. I'm dead.
It takes a few tries to get used to it. The controls are really fast and zippy, and the area that you're in is very, very tight. You have to save 3 people to get through the first part. And I got through it, but then on the driving stage I didn't get through that.
Okay.
And I think my VCR is messing with the sound. The VCR has a filter that gets rid of some of the drastic sharpness that affects these systems. So without the VCR on, the sound is good, but the picture is too sharp. So what Tangleweed Joe is Indiana Jones. Well, it's like Indiana Jones. It has, I think, 4 different action segments. The first is this river escapade here where you're going along. You have a gun and you're trying to shoot or evade the giant creatures, which are alligators and hippopotamus, without crashing. And also you're trying to save 3 people that are trapped in the water. Okay, and then after that there's a driving segment. Then there's a action segment. I think you search for items and the character looks more like Indiana Jones. And then I think a 4th segment that involves a lantern in a cavern, and the lantern effect is very reminiscent of popular game Haunted House. And it has Indiana Jones style. I won't call him Indiana Jones. I think this might even be a licensed character. But You can see you have smooth, vertical scrolling. We have lots of enemy sprites. The boat with the gun that can be adjusted.
This beginning part with...
Some words, yep.
Yeah. Oh, he's not looking there. Also, the characters, or the enemies, seem to be kind of guided towards the character.
Yes.
I almost got the strat. Ah. Can't.
Well, what I noticed is most of the time you don't have to shoot the animals. And when we discussed this game, I told him that it seemed like... Now, first, I hadn't beaten the first part, so I was under the assumption this was the game, right? So I told him, you know, you could use this to make a spaceship game where you're going through an asteroid field saving astronauts and you're shooting at spaceships. And that's more probably because I would rather not shoot animals. But in this particular case, these are dangerous creatures that are possibly going to hurt your rescuees that you're trying to catch up with. So we have rushing rapids, dangerous animals, and you have people floating in the water waiting to be saved. Now, I've noticed it controls better, in my opinion, with a gamepad or joystick than it does with the keyboard. It's really zippy and super, super tight areas. So I think that if I was to change one thing, I would make it so that it's easier, because there's no room at all for any kind of error at all. You have to, it's one of those games where you absolutely have to play it exactly the right way, and there's no room at all for any errors at all. So so maybe take the end off of some of these middle island parts there that keep repeating, and then you'd have a slightly easier time around the corners. But I got through this part. It took a couple tries, but I got through it. And second part's a driving part, and you control the gunner in the car. When you press forward, the gun pops out the back. When you press back, the gun pops out the front. And cars and motorcycles are trying to catch up with you on a road. And it's a second action sequence. Once you get through those two action sequences, then you get to be the character, the main character, which he's an Indiana Jones clone as far as I can tell. I imagine whoever comes up with this stuff doesn't want you to just immediately relate the character to Indiana Jones, but I can see it feels to me like it's inspired by Indiana Jones.
This section, the boat is way too zippy.
Yeah?
Because whenever I try to get through those narrow areas, I could do it if the boat was just a tiny bit slower, but now it's just like one tiny movement is right into the wall.
You want me to try it? I think he has the controller directly tied to the sprite rather than having any kind of like buffers.
One sec. When I die, I'll give you it. I'll give you a show and game over. Yeah. Game over.
Okay. Now I've tried this so a couple times. Here we go. See, watch. See me crashing into stuff? Okay. But you'll notice if you keep here, you've got one. So if you keep really close to the right side, which I'm talking here when I shouldn't be, then it's not as hard. See, I'm staying close to that side. And here's the last. There we go. Now that's the first part. You want to try the racing part?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2. Whoa. Oh.
Don't let him run into you and shoot forward.
Push up for them. And okay, I'm gonna go way back here. I got him. Whoa. Crap. And it restarted. Alright, I'm gonna try this again.
Yes! Oh, I got another good one. Wait, medicine bread? I want medicine bread. I don't want medicine bread.
Crap.
Cookie bread. I just did medicine bread. Oh my god, I don't want medicine bread. Oh wait, sweet powder. Is it sweet powder? Oh my god.
2 more rescues and you're done with this part.
No.
I'll show you what this looks like with my VCR off, which is filtering it. There we go.
Oh.
Considerably sharper, brighter picture.
Crap.
This is straight piped through the...
I need more pharmacy experience. I don't have a pharmacy like that.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it though, it's not too ridiculously hard. It's just wait till the very last second before you move. Any movement that's too soon or too late and you die. So
I'm gonna try a challenge real quick. I'm gonna try looking at the camera here for it. Oh gosh. Ah. Yeah, nah. That is like impossible. Well, it's not impossible. You can still do it. It's just.
it's improbable.
Ow!
Water laser. Cure. Oh.
Crap.
Oh, I have pharmacy, yeah. So apparently I need to freaking expand my whole house to get a freaking pharmacy just to make the stupid sweet powder for Russ. I'm not doing all that.
Oh
You know what I
man.
am doing? I'm canceling my request.
See, right there.
Is it too late now to say sorry? No, that's not what I was gonna do. Is it too late now to go to the cave? Because I think it is, but I might need a stronger weapon to go to the cave that I really want.
Ah, crap.
Characters.
Now, I think in a demo he sent me, and I don't know if that's how this one is, there was a way to skip levels. And I think it might have been the select key or something like that. So we'll try that here in a second. We'll see if that's still in the game. And that was to be able to try out the different levels without having to beat every segment. And you know, this for testing. That's how we do things when we're testing our games. We make it you know, easier to scoot through. Okay, we'll try that now real quick. Tell me if it changes, okay?
Okay.
Did it?
No.
No? Okay, try this. Did that change anything?
No.
No?
Oh, there! We're on the second level.
Okay. We'll try again.
sec.
Is it saying anything?
Yeah.
What's it saying?
It restarted.
Okay, give me a second here.
Restart.
Oops. All right, let me see that. We're trying. Okay. I don't know why it did that earlier. Oh wait, I think it was on the wait screen. This right here. There. Okay, now this will be the first action segment with the there you go.
Okay.
So we can see this is kind of like
Ah.
get that. There you go.
I don't know what that was, but it was cool. I shot that guy. It makes no sense. I shot him.
No. He moved out of the way.
Not that time. Oh, I blocked it. You
Yeah.
could block things. Here, let's
Okay, wait a second.
Luigi.
Right here. We'll try again.
Okay.
So this would be if you could beat the driving segment. This would be the segment afterwards.
Oh, crap.
Now I was going to suggest to him that he change the title music to Cotton Eye Joe. So instead of whatever do 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 do
Yeah.
that, instead of that we could have it do Cotton Eye Joe. Like dun 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 dun. That'd be really catchy.
And
All right.
Now
Now we'll try 4.
Oh, I didn't know there was a 4 up.
Yes, I said there were 4. Okay,
Whoa. Oh. That's a bullet. Okay. Okay. It's like a horror game.
So you basically have like a second to move. It hones in on your line wherever you're standing. So it shoots, then you move. It shoots, then you move. And you try not to get stuck.
This one's a lot easier.
So far. It is a little bit of a maze though.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Can barely see the bull. Okay, I tried to dodge that one. Oh, that was low enough. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure Furroy is trying to get his stuff looked at for publishing too. Just like me, we're both trying to get our homebrews out there. And
Oh boy. I can't go up in there for some reason.
I think part of the big problem today is people expect homebrewers to just give all their work away. Like this, that you don't deserve any compensation for your work, so you just give it to people. Well, I can tell you that no programmer ever did this and didn't deserve some type of compensation. And sometimes they do just program this stuff for, the experience or for fun, and they give it away, especially when it's IP. But in this particular case, these are original works, like with my games and with Furroy's games. And so I don't think it's, wrong to expect the chance to get published or to be able to offer the game to people to try out. And so that's what we want. That's what I want. I think that's what he wants. Okay, next we'll try Crunk. Okay, now this is a role-playing game. Down is your inventory, up and right and left moves you through caverns. The button swings your weapon. You start out with a sword. You try to kill enough bad guys to get money so you can leave and buy more weapons and magic wands and spells and shields and potions and stuff like that. Okay, so you start out. Now this one uses text. As you can see, it says down here, demon, and you've got your monster. And you have to time that little knife, and the knife timing is harder than the sword timing, is harder than the like halberd and maces and stuff. So it's incentive to beat enough bad guys to save up some money to buy better weapons.
Got him! Oh boy.
And he has many different bad guys in this game.
Got him! Oh boy. Bird. Okay, I'm kind of getting used to it with the knife. Okay.
You're already better at this than me.
Okay. Kind of like with the yo-yo.
Now, these are tentative titles. I don't know if this game will be called Crunk in the future. I mean, I guess it might be. Although there is a definite Urban Dictionary correlation with certain Kool-Aid and alcohol beverages with the word crunk, crunk juice, and things like that. But hey, why not? Why not call it Crunk? That's fine.
Boom. Okay. Okay, this is inventory.
So now go, there's your map, but also go to the right. There. Now that's leaving the cavern.
I don't know if I have enough money.
Try.
Oh, I do.
Okay, now you can go up there two places. There's that one to the right, and let's wait though, that's the wizard tower, and then up above it, that's the place. So go there, blacksmith.
I can get weapons.
Now go right and left,
Ooh.
and you can see the different weapons. There's a halberd.
I can actually kind of buy all these.
Yeah, you should get the longsword. Well, that's what I would do. You do whatever you want.
I like the longsword the best.
Yeah.
As, like,
So-
I kind of like swords a lot.
So, did you buy it?
Yeah, I did. I bought.
I don't think you did, because you still have $6,000.
I started with 9.
Oh, okay. I thought you only had 6. All right, now go to the wizard tower. You got a 8,000 magic wand, longbow, potion.
That's 6,000. That's
You
all.
can get a potion, but that's all the rest of your money.
Sure. Okay. Let's continue on.
Crypt.
And
Lost Mines.
Then over here, there's
The dungeon you came out of, I think that's what that is. Dark
Dark
Forest.
Forest. I think, Crypt. Okay, it's a tower.
There we go.
Okay, one sec. Oh,
Now again, any kind of noise is coming from my TV. It's an old TV. Sometimes it has some noise. Now, of course, there's a chance you'll get little noises like that, depending on how old and rickety your hardware is.
can I get him? Yes! Okay. Weird snake thingy.
Well, it says what it is.
Oh, tentacle!
Yeah.
Kill the tentacle. East.
It says what direction you're facing.
Oh,
That's a Sprite.
orc.
That's a Pepsi.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. And I still have not. I'm gonna get him. Okay. I actually really like this game a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I'll
cool.
probably like come home from school and just play this game.
Cool.
It's fun. You gotta
I
use
noticed if you
time.
just constantly push the button and kind of line it up a little bit, then let go right when you think he's going to come down. There you go. Try to keep the sword in motion a little bit. I think helps. But
I'm just gonna do this.
once I got the long sword, I got significantly further faster because it is way better than the knife.
That kind of looks like your skeleton sprite in Titan X.
Oh yeah.
Just a little bit.
My new skeleton sprite is 3 colors.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just in case, I'm gonna get. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right there, I'm gonna go to Lost Mines now. 8,000. Oh, okay. Why do I still have the knife? I would like my longsword. Okay. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I didn't get you either. Yes.
Now, if you'll notice, I believe to the left of the gold count is a hit bar. And this game is in, the beginning phases of programming. I don't think anything can actually do damage yet. So I believe once damage is enabled, then when they come and hit you, that little bar is going to go down and eventually, demise. So this is set up to be able to progress through and test every room and test every possibility in the game to kind of get an idea of how it works.
Oh, crap. Got him! Don't see anything. Ooh, ghost! Ghost.
Sophia, did you just give me a ring?
I think maybe using a magic wand or something, or fire or something on the ghost would be a good idea. Like, so if you swing at a ghost with a sword, it doesn't do anything. And I'm sure he's probably thinking of things like that, ways to add usefulness for all the different items you can buy.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Now, he said he programmed a random map generator in assembly, and it will, create the maps that he can then drop into the game for the different locations, which I think is creative. I also like the use of the words.
Ooh. Just to
You got a lot of money now, 23,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna try out the halberd and the magic wand and the bow and stuff.
Okay.
And things and see how they actually. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay.
Well, it's
Exited last mines. Wizard Tower, blacksmith, and heavy mace, and halberd.
you bought all his stuff.
Yeah, I has 14,000 bucks, buckaroos, magic wand. Okay, I need a little bit more to get the longbow, but I can get it when I have enough money. So I'm going to just.
So did you find out if you have school tomorrow?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay, halberd. Ooh, this is big. This is a big guy. Alright, now I have exactly $7,000 to try out the this thingy. But I forget the name of the longbow. Alright, we're going to
It's a not short bow.
the dark forest. Okay, inventory. Whoa! Okay. 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 It's a little weird, but you can in fact shoot. It's just a little weird. Oh, yes! I killed him. Oh. This is going to be a lot easier to see.
Well, you're making it so your shots don't reach them by firing over and over again. You have to wait for the shot to reach them. There. See, if you hit twice, it seems to reset it, and it shoots a second arrow before the first one reaches them.
Okay, I kind of like the bow. Okay. Loot Goblin. Wait a minute. This is for a little guy. Or magic wand. Oh, I love the magic wand even more.
It's a boomstick.
It shoots things. It's really hard to shoot things.
The way the bad guys move, I was going to say, maybe that's the worst weapon.
Never mind, it's the worst. Where's my longsword?
There you go.
Hey. I'm gonna kill him. Got him. Okay, longsword, best weapon. Wand, horrible. Ooh.
Will-o-wisp.
I don't think I can kill those with a sword, because they're floaty floats. Okay. Dude. They would probably, like, nibble at you.
Well, remember, this is still being made, and so I think he's got it set up now so that you can just easily whack through all the bad guys. But later on, you know, there'll probably be certain bad guys where you need certain items or weapons to get past them, and I don't know, this is all
Ooh. Okay, skeleton.
a work.
No. $14,000. That's a lot of money. Okay. I'm gonna try out. I've got all. Oh, wait. The mace. Mace. It's just a big mace.
Okay, here we have his third game he's working on, Kaiju, which is Godzilla. Here we can see Nick is wearing a Godzilla costume, and it's got the name of the city, which it says Miami, so that's kind of probably a callback to Rampage that announces the city you're about to destroy.
Oh wait, it is Rampage! How do you use weapon? Oh, I killed him. Yeah! Okay, you can move up to... Oh, hey!
He said that was based on a toy robot. And you see, this charges up and is your, like, fireball that you can shoot at stuff. There it was, you just fired it. And you see the people running away, tanks, you got the lines for streets.
Okay, you can destroy buildings. Just kill the guy. And then, ah! I'm gonna stop you, tank. Never mind. You're lucky. So you have to very slowly dodge and shoot.
Well, you want to hit the buildings.
Ow!
Yeah, the goal is to destroy all the buildings, like Rampage.
I also kind of like this game too, which means I've got two really awesome games that are like made by this guy. That just shows you guys that get cool games on the Atari because the Atari's still cool.
Oh yeah, Atari has good games.
Okay, you just stomped a guy.
I mean, games from the old school, you know, the original library on the 2600 that I still like and will still play. Ghostbusters, definitely. I like Burger Time, it's pretty good. Tapper, I like Star Trek. Spy Hunter is really, really good. Kaboom is good. Egomania, really good one. I like Asteroids. The Starpath Frogger, super, super good game. Keystone Capers is excellent. Demon Attack, that's a good one. Fun game. Alright, let's try the wrestling game.
Yeah.
This will just be to check out how my game looks.
On a TV.
Here we go.
Oh.
And it looks kind of bright.
Yeah.
I think that's the TV more than anything. Some of my characters are kind of bright. Let's see. We can see the video.
Let me check Maybe we should try the, do you know what this looks like with the softening effect?
Yeah, let's see.
And this is multiplayer, so me and my dad can throw each other around in this game.
Oh. It might mess up. This is still being programmed.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going to be tweaking colors to try to get it to look as good as possible. Alright, here we go.
Okay, let's see. I gotcha! Oh gosh. How do you pick up? Oh, I threw you. Yeah. How do you pick up? Oh gosh, suplex. Yeah, how do you pick up?
Well, once you grapple, you press a direction and the button to do things.
Okay, I
Well,
pressed
you have to
up.
press the button.
Okay. Okay, got this. Okay, I'm pressing up and the button. That should. Oh, ooh. Made me down. Okay, I just threw you.
Okay, I'll just let you try something. Press right and the button.
Okay. There! That's how you do it. And left is suplex?
No, up.
Okay, up suplex. Okay. Okay. I guess I pushed you that way. That's fine. Gotcha.
Feels better when there's sound effects and words and stuff. I like it. I want the colors to be better. I might try a darker color for the ring and the ropes.
I love that suplex.
And we need, punches and kicks. We need like normal attacks for the game. Also, there's a little glitch in the animation of the suplex, I noticed. Of course, the throwing on the ropes, there'll be moves to go along with those. So there's so much left to be programmed.
Gotcha.
Oh,
How do you do that throw where like you're the body slam?
you press and hold the attack button and press to the press forward, whichever way is forward.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the animation for the.
Crap.
Oh, you got. Oh, it messed up.
Oh god. I don't know what the heck just happened.
I don't either.
You're up there.
Okay, I gotta reset it. That's messed up. Alright. So,
I don't know what I just did.
I'll pick, see, also I can tell I need to change the colors on some of the characters.
I'll pick, where's purple guy? Me. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed it looks kind of flickery a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the VCR off and see. Much sharper, brighter.
Yeah.
And of course, it looks like my TV has warmed up a lot, so I'm actually going to turn down the brightness a little bit here.
Okay.
And I'll turn down the, this TV is old and it really does it takes a while for it to warm up.
Gotcha.
Once it warms up though, then you want to kind of adjust things. That's not too bad. Let's see. Okay. See, that's a lot less flickery. There. Phew.
Get thrown into the ropes. Ah. Pretend that was an elbow.
Oh, it messed up. That's that one. And that is almost impossible to get to happen.
We
So,
combined.
oh, and it looks like the letters messed up when I restarted it. I'm going to have to check on that too. So, it needs play tested. This is still in the very beginning of programming the moves. But,
I love the suplex. It's awesome.
okay, well, thanks for helping me test these out, Nick.
Yeah.